Monday night. Woo! You survived the first day of the week. Well, technically Sunday's the first day of the week, but, and again, still don't know what I'm doing with the long bangs. Just letting them go. Did the pigtails today. Because it's Makeup Free Monday. It's a minimalist Monday. So, all sorts of shades of gray and whatnot. It's not any kind of indication of anything, but thought I'd pop on, because if you've noticed, I don't have so much in the way of exercise clips right now. You might be asking yourself, why? What happened? What's going on? I thought she exercised all the time. I thought she did those Energize and Shakes videos. Yep, and yep. But the shoulder is really, really giving me trouble. Friday, I took a complete day off of any kind of exercise or anything. I was in a training all day, and I was emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually done when I got out of there. So I literally gave myself a pass on like everything. I said, you know what? That's okay. Some days you get a pass. Not a cheat day, not anything like that, because I tracked everything I ate and I was okay with it. But some days you got to say, you know what? Some of this stuff's just got to go. And that's exactly what happened. And I realized on Saturday, oh, it feels good today. So I was really encouraged, like, oh, yay, good. It must be doing better. So then I was doing my exercises, and we went out and walked for like 3 hours and played Pokemon and just, you know, normal everyday stuff, laundry, whatnot, whatever. And it was so bad by the end of the day. I couldn't hardly sleep. It was just awful. So it got me thinking, like, maybe rest is best. But I didn't completely listen to myself. And so yesterday, Sunday, I started out the day doing some of my exercises. And just as soon as I started doing them, it started just feeling awful. And all day, I was in so much pain yesterday. And ibuprofen wasn't touching it. And I'm not really willing to try anything else at this point. Besides ice. I've been icing like Elsa. I've been Elsing my shoulder, and so yeah, I'm frustrated. But I did a little more research into the other 3 things that my doctor was saying he thinks it could be, since it's not getting better with exercise. It seems to be getting worse. Bursitis, which I'm like, isn't that for older people? And yes, generally. But then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It's me. I am not normal, and that is fine. I'm cool with that. My mom always said I was born 30, so that makes me now 68. So, okay, maybe I'm in the proper range. But it also talks about osteoarthritis, and I don't have osteoarthritis, but I have fibromyalgia, and I figure anytime they put in the word arthritis, I'm going to go ahead and assume it could pertain to fibromyalgia. So, and yeah, injuries after, with exercising, repetitive motion, hello, 15 reps, yeah, and any kind of stress. So I was like, oh, that could be me. It could be. If you don't know what bursitis is, let me give you a quick lesson. There's this thing called the bursa sac, and it is like in between the shoulder blade and the, you know, and the ligaments and everything. So when it gets inflamed and it gets mad, it just rubs everything the wrong way. That's how I like to think of it. So yeah, I'm like, would you calm down in there and leave me alone? So I've been a big fan of the ibuprofen, even though it's not helping the pain. I'm hoping it's helping the inflammation. If it's not that, then it could be a bone spur, which, again, I was doing my research. Yes, it was WebMD. Still, decent research. I'm not trying to actually diagnose. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm doing research here, people. This is the only way I can know how to go to my doctor and say, listen, okay, yes, this is what's going on. This is what I think it is, because trust me, when you go to a doctor and say, oh no, they half the time don't know either. You are better off doing some of your own research. Not like Googling to death all sorts of random stuff, but actually doing research, putting in your symptoms, coming up with things that make sense, doing more research, all that kind of stuff. But, okay, so the bone spur is actually inflammation that, like calcification kind of thing on the cartilage and whatnot. And so when it comes out of somewhere that it shouldn't be, again, rubbing the wrong way. It can also be treated with rest and ice and anti-inflammatories. So I'm hopeful that either one of those I could resolve on my own without a lot of additional medical attention and or surgery. And then the other one I haven't really researched very much. It's the AC joint, and I can't pronounce it. Let's be honest. It's long and ridiculous. Like, why couldn't they call these things stuff people could pronounce so that you didn't look like an idiot when you're trying to tell people, I think I might have that. So let's just go with the letters. So anyway, again, like, it's an injury to that joint, and, you know, it can be anywhere from a pull, a tear, all those sorts of things. So who knows? I just know I need to take a few days and do as little as possible with this shoulder. And that actually means I'm driving mostly with the right hand, because I'm like, okay, a lot of that, you do stuff and you don't even realize, like, my shoulder goes up, and that is irritating. So yeah, I'm totally driving as much right hand as possible. Don't worry, I still have my other hand on the wheel, but I'm trying to keep it as much tucked into my body as possible to protect that shoulder. So yeah, taking a few days, ice, rest, ibuprofen. Yes. So exercise is a nada. I am still doing some of the neck stretches because my neck is still tight, and I still think that that could be beneficial to the shoulder. But anything shoulder related, I'm not doing, because even the most simple, gentle of the stretches made it mad yesterday. In the meantime, I have upset my lower back. I have a long-term back injury that just gets mad, and anybody can really make this area mad. But what happened to me was in church camp, back when I was like 17, I think, or so, this cute boy offered to crack my back because apparently I was talking about it. I probably was. That's back in the day when I used to crack every body part I could. And he was like, I'll crack your back for you. And the girl, because she was a girl, maybe college, was like, oh, I work in a chiropractor's office in the summer. I can tell you what to do. Don't let people who are not professionals, and even if they are professionals, you better make sure you really want them to. Don't let people mess with your back. So, instead of just going down, he pushed down and up and herniated a disc, and I couldn't walk for days. And then, being stubborn and 17 and thinking I knew what was best and not really wanting to know what the outcome of that was, I refused to go to the doctor right away. So about a month went by. I finally go see an orthopedic specialist for my back, and he's like, yep, you have a herniated disc. So the vertebrae is out of place. It's not quite right. Or the disc is out of place. And by this point, you have stretched the ligaments and whatnot so much that in order to keep it in place all the time, you would need surgery in order to, keep it in place. And he's talking about range of motion. I'm like, I'm a dancer. At that point, I was a golfer too. I'm a golfer. I need that range of motion. No way, no how. And he's still talking about it and injection stuff. And I was like, I'm going to pass out. And I nearly did. And that was the end of that conversation. And never again did I see that man, because I was like, no, nope, and nope. So I did physical therapy, strengthened it back up, all good. But every now and then it rears its ugly head. And I think what happened was I've been doing a lot of sitting, all day sitting on Friday. Yesterday I was at a baseball game for 4 hours. It was a lot of sitting. So that's never good. You should never sit for more than like half hour at the most. So all that sitting just like compresses everything. So then when you stand up, it all wants to go. It's just unhappy. So I should have been doing stretches both of those nights, but I didn't. And now it's all irritated. So again, I'm going to be doing stretches for my lower back and my butt, because that's a lot of times where the problem is. If you've got lower back pain, we should talk. I will tell you some stretches that will totally help get it better. And then work on your core, because you need it for your back. So all that's going on. And I've been increasing my water intake and along with this nutrition program, which has been awesome because I really feel like I wasn't getting enough to drink when I needed it. Because I would totally drink, you know, a little in the morning, and then I'd chug after my workout, and then I would chug at dinner and after, and then like I would still get my 75 ounces that I needed for my body weight, but I don't think it was well spaced, so I'm trying a lot harder. So I'm like, but again, I'm doing this chug mentality where I think, okay, I gotta get 16 ounces in before breakfast and 16 before lunch. And here's the problem with that. I have interstitial cystitis. That's a big fancy term for a really angry bladder. What it is like a cat got in my bladder and just scratched the walls all up, and it gets inflamed and angry and is much more susceptible to infection and all that awful stuff. So imagine that getting super filled with urine, and you're like, okay, I have a few minutes to get to the bathroom. It doesn't matter. By the time it's gotten super full, it's irritated. And so I'm having issues with that, not like incontinence issues, but pain. And so I'm realizing, okay, while that might be ideal for a lot of people, it's not ideal for my body. So I'm playing with how I can get water in that gets my needs met as far as getting enough water in before and after meals and things, but also keeps my bladder from being full all of a sudden and angry and giving me a flare, because I do not need that in my life. I don't want to look like I'm 5 months pregnant. I don't want to feel like I am. I don't want an infection, all those things. And it adds to the back pain, abdominal pain, all the things. So, you know, so much of this and so much of being on top of your health journey is doing research into you. This is what I'm learning. Like when I'm tracking my food and my water, I'm also tracking, you know, mood and how my body feels. And I'm seeing patterns and things that I never thought of before. And it's really telling me a lot about what I need to be doing in order to be healthy. But it's also giving me a lot of insight into my fibromyalgia, into these pains I'm having, into my mental status. And so, you know, this has just been really huge for me. And as one of my coach friends said, I don't think it's a coincidence that you had this shoulder injury after you finished your 80-day program. Like you were able to finish, and that was totally meant to be, but maybe you were meant to not be able to exercise to be able to show people that, one, this other program to focus on nutrition is not only totally going to help people, but also that sometimes in life we have to take a step back from fitness. It's not always possible. Even though it is the ideal, it's not always feasible. And I'm like, man, she hit the nail on the head. Like I've struggled with this so much. Like if I'm not dancing around to my, Energize and Shake song of the day, how am I going to share that kind of fun every day? Well, I could still do that because I can still get excited for the day, right? But, it's not, having a healthy lifestyle isn't just about fitness. There are so many pieces that are important, and it's not until you make one change at a time and then you add another change and another change that you start to see that all these pieces really are important. You can't just do one or the other, and you can't leave one for the other. You really need them all. And then when you've got this really healthy lifestyle, if one has to take a back seat for a while, that's okay, until you can get back at it. And I just cannot wait to get back at it, because I feel like mentally I feel stronger than ever, and I'm just so ready. But I know that I absolutely have to listen to my body right now, and I think the purpose in that pain is to be able to help other people who are right where I am, who want more for their health but just can't do the exercise. So if that's you, let's talk, because boy, am I in it with you. All right, guys, have a great night and a wonderful tomorrow.